Good day, everyone. So, before anything else, let me introduce myself first. By the way, I am Janet Manzano, and today I am going to tackle the fictional literature, which is The Little Incident by Lucian. But first, let me tell you some of the background of Lucian. So, Lucian or Luxon is a pseudonym of Zhu Shorin, was born in Shaoxing, Zhejiang province into an impoverished but educated family. So when we say impoverished, he comes from a poor family but they are educated enough. In 1902, he went to Japan where he studied Japanese language and then medicine at Sendai Province Medical School. In 1906, he dropped out of school to devote himself to writing. So, the story of a little incident, and it was written by Lu Xun, as what I have mentioned earlier. So, he was a Chinese writer, an essayist, poet, and literary critic. In this story, the writer narrates the mentality of people who are not aware of others' pains and sufferings. Even they are not ready to listen and help them. In this materialistic world, people's minds are occupied by technology. This leads to the unempathetic situations in the world. The writer tries to convey the importance of empathy and helping tendency by one little incident. So, the story revolved 6 years ago in the capital. He, or the narrator, tells about the effects of the events known as the fairs of the state to him. The events occurred in a winter season. So, the incident in narrator's life, the narrator talks about an incident that happened in 6 years before when he came to the capital from the village. During that time, many events are occurred known as affairs of the state. In our life, we had seen or heard a lot of things that changed and affected our heart, but most probably, we doesn't have a strong impact on them and we forgot that events by running of time. But one little incident alone is deep within meaning to the narrator. He is unable to forget the incident even now. The narrator begins, and it was a winter day in the 6th year of the Republic, and a strong northern wind blew furiously. He had to be wake up early and on the way to duties and encountered rarely anyone. After much difficulty, he finally succeeded in hiring a rickshaw. He told the puller to take him to the southern gate. The wind moderated its fury and its wake the street were left clean of the loose dust. The puller can ran quickly and approached near to the south gate at that time. Somebody ran in front of them and got entangled in the rickshaw and fell down to the ground. So, to get his duties, he needs to get up early. He takes account of requesting a rickshaw man's service to take him to the south gate. Just as they approaching the south gate, a woman with streaks of white in her hair, wearing ragged clothes, ran in front of the rickshaw, got entangled and tumbled on the ground. So the rickshaw met with the accident. So the rickshaw suddenly met the accident. It was a woman with streaks of white in her hair and she wore ragged clothes. The woman suddenly came from the side of the street and directly crossed in front of them. The puller tried to stop the rickshaw but they caught with the accident. Fortunately, the puller slowed his rickshaw, otherwise, she would have been injured. The narrator was irritated because the rickshaw puller stopped the rickshaw and helped the woman. The narrator thought it might delay his journey. Otherwise, he did not hear and care about her. The puller did not hesitate for a moment after the old woman said that she was injured. He helped the woman and walked carefully ahead with her. The narrator was surprised by the action of the puller. He took that injured woman to the police station. No one was there and nobody noticed the accident, but the puller was honest and he did not try to escape. Instead of that, he helped that woman. And that's all for my part. Thank you.
Good day, everyone. I am Cherbib Dipaduhinog, and now let's continue to discuss the story about the little incident by Lucian. So let's start. Climax. The rickshaw puller aids the woman towards a police station. He, the narrator, felt curious and at the same time pressured as he saw the puller and the woman enter the station. He saw an officer from the station. It approached him and advised him, "Get another rickshaw. This man can pull you anymore." Without thinking, he thrust his hand into his pocket and pulled forth a big fistful of copper. "Give the fellow this," he said. As the rickshaw puller walked the old woman to the police station, the speaker or the narrator of this story found himself um, found himself stunned because of the situation. Considering the unprivileged status of rickshaw puller in their village, he is still able to exhibit kindness to the old woman. He even felt guilty, bemused, and conflicted because of the situation of the old woman. So that is the turning point of the story because the speaker or the narrator saw the persistence of rickshaw puller to help the old woman. He even asked himself why he acted like that earlier. But his contemplation was interrupted by the police officer who approached him and said that he need to find another rickshaw puller because the rickshaw puller earlier can no longer take him to his destination. And that was the time the narrator or the speaker handed a big fistful coppers to the police officer and asked the police officer to give it to the rickshaw puller. So that is the climax of the little incident. And next, we have the polling action or denoma. He was bombarded with lots of questions with regards to the action he has done. Why had he given those coppers? Was it a reward? This was the explanation that he sought. As he walked, he also questioned himself if that fistful copper would sacrifice the judgment of the rickshaw puller even after his misconduct earlier or even after he acted like that earlier. So he questioned himself again and again and again about the big fistful copper that he handed to the policewoman to give that to the rickshaw puller. So next, we have the conclusion and or ending of the stories. We can draw the conclusion that even if the elite had the riches, they still need the manpower of the masses to make their vision real. They need the poor to move for them. For without these people below, no one will do the move for them. That little incident remained in his memory and he felt ashamed as it flashes back, but at the same time invigorates his strength and courage. The speaker continued to contemplate what happened that day. With the incident, he wants to know what are the mistake or what are the misconduct that he did that day because he want to challenge himself to strive to be better. So that is the end of the story. Then the theme of this story is kindness lies in everyone's heart. It's just a matter of waking it up. So that's all. Thank you.